Today, we're diving into something that's probably been keeping you up at night, figuring out what you want to do with your life. And if you're thinking, great, here's another person about to tell me to follow my passion. Don't worry, we're going to get way more practical than that. You know what's kind of absurd? We spend more time choosing what to watch on Netflix than we sometimes spend thinking about the direction of our lives. Yet, here we are. By the way, I'm Thrive. I'm an HR manager and a life coach who has helped over 1,000 people achieve their dreams by becoming more than they were. The myth of the one true calling. Let's address something that's probably been messing with your head. This idea that somewhere out there is your perfect career, your one true calling, just waiting to be discovered. And this may be both terrifying and liberating. There isn't just one right path for you. There's probably dozens of paths where you could be happy, where you could be successful, and you could be fulfilled. The trick isn't finding the path, it's choosing a path and making it yours. So let's do our first exercise. I call it Infinite Possibilities Map. So grab a journal. Seriously, pause the video. Go get one. I'll wait.
2 hours later.
Okay, got it? Good. Now, write everything down you've ever enjoyed doing, even if it seems ridiculous. Did you love organizing your Pokemon cards as a kid? Write it down. Do you get a weird satisfaction from explaining complicated things to people? That goes in too. We're creating a map of possibilities, not a job application. Here's something nobody tells you. Your life isn't a straight line. It's more like, those Family Circus comics where Billy's path is all over the place? That's actually more accurate. We have this weird idea that we need to have it all figured out by a certain age, but that's just not how life works. Your interests, your values, and your goals will shift and evolve. That's not indecision. It's called growth. So let's do another exercise. It's called the time traveler. We're going to look at 4 different versions of you. The past you. What did you love before anyone told you it needed to make money? In the present you. What energizes you right now? The future you. Like 5 years. Where do you want to be at? In the future you, 20 years. What do you want to look back on? So before we dive into our next topic, I want to share some real stories from my coaching practice. There are people just like you who are struggling to figure out their path. Names changed, of course, but the insights are real. So there was Sarah. Sarah was a successful accountant who came to me feeling completely stuck. She said, I'm good at my job, but I feel nothing when I do it. And during our sessions, we discovered what really lit her up wasn't the numbers. It was the times she got to train new employees. She had this gift for breaking down complex ideas into simple steps. So today, she runs her own business, teaching financial literacy to entrepreneurs. She combines her accounting knowledge with her true passion, which is teaching. Then there was Miguel. Miguel was a guy who was convinced he needed to completely abandon his decade-long career in sales to become a therapist. He was ready to quit his job, take out massive student loans. But as we dug a little deeper, we realized that what he really loved wasn't therapy specifically. It was the moments in sales when he got to help clients solve their problems. So we ended up crafting a role for him as a sales trainer and consultant, where he now gets to mentor others and facilitate growth, all while leveraging his years of experience rather than starting all over. And one of my favorite stories is about Jamie, who came to me with a spreadsheet. I kid you not, listing every possible career option and their pros and cons. They were so focused on finding the perfect choice that they'd spent 2 years analyzing and hadn't taken a single step forward. We worked together to shift from analyzing to experimenting. Jamie started doing small freelance projects in different fields. And you know what happened? They discovered that they loved something that wasn't even in the spreadsheets. Experience design. Because they'd never even known it existed until they started taking action. So the reason why I'm sharing all of these stories is because I see the same patterns over and over. People are thinking they need to completely start over when often they just need to pivot. So people looking for perfect clarity before taking any action, and people ignoring their natural talents because they seem too easy to be valuable. People trying to logic their way into passion instead of discovering it through experience. So the skills you do not see. All right, let's talk about something that most people completely miss when thinking about their life path. Your invisible skills. These are the things you're so naturally good at, you don't even realize they're actually skills. Maybe you're the person your friends always come to for advice. Maybe you can look at a mess and instantly see how to organize it. Maybe you're really good at getting people to calm down in tense situations. These aren't just personality traits. They're actually valuable skills that entire careers can be built around. So time for another exercise. So this is the hidden talents inventory. So what do people constantly ask you for help with? What do you do better than most people that you know? And what feels easy to you, but seems like it could be maybe a challenge for others? The reality check that doesn't suck. Let's get real for a minute. Yeah, we need to talk about practical stuff. Money, job markets, geography, family obligations. But here's where most people get it wrong. These are not roadblocks. They're design parameters. Think about it like this. If I tell you to make something, that's overwhelming. But if I tell you to make something using only blue items in your house that can fit in a shoebox, suddenly your creativity has direction. Constraints can actually help you be more creative in designing your path. Not a big sandbox. Sometimes you need to be more linear. So let's do a reality design exercise. List your non-negotiables, things you absolutely need, like minimum income. Now, list your flexibles, things you'd like but could compromise on. List your current restraints. Now, how can we get creative within these parameters? The connection revolution. So here's something that might blow your mind. Most opportunities don't come from job listings. They come from connections. But before you groan about, networking, let me share a little secret. Networking is just making friends around shared interests. So, right now, for almost any interest you have, there's a subreddit for it, a Discord server discussing it, a local meetup group doing it, a conference celebrating it, a course teaching it. You get the point. Your people are out there. You just have to find them. So let's talk about something scary. The permission to change your mind, to leave a career you've invested years in, to start over, take a step backwards, to ultimately move forward. You know what's interesting? When Netflix shows us a movie we might like, we don't feel bad about trying it for 10 minutes and then picking something else. But when it comes to careers, we act like every choice is permanent. It isn't. So let's do the permission slip exercise. Literally, write yourself permission slips. I give myself permission to. I give myself permission to stop. I give myself permission to try. So here's where we get really practical. Finding your path isn't about having some magical epiphany. It's about running experiments. Small, low-risk, real-world experiments. Want to know if you'd like to be a teacher? Volunteer to teach a workshop. Interested in writing? Start a blog. Curious about design? Do free projects for local nonprofits. So let's create your experiment list. What can you try in the next week? What can you try in the next month? What can you try into the next new year? Here's something that might shift your entire perspective. Instead of asking, what do I want to do? Try asking, what problem do I want to solve? Or what type of help do I want to provide? When you focus on the impact you want to have rather than the job title you want to hold, everything becomes more clear. Maybe you don't know if you want to be a therapist or a teacher or a manager, but you do know you want to help people grow. And that's a starting point. So the conclusion, the path is yours. So here's what we've covered. There isn't one perfect path. Your interest will evolve, and that's good. Your invisible skills honestly matter. Constraints can guide you. Connections create opportunities. You have permission to change. Small experiments lead to big clarity, and impact matters more than titles. Remember something. The people who seem to have it all figured out, they don't. They're just better at dealing with uncertainty. They've learned to see it as adventure rather than anxiety. Your path isn't something that you find. It's something that you create. You do it step by step. You do it choice by choice. And you do it experiment by experiment. And you've already started by being right here, right now. So what's your next step going to be? Remember, if you like, then like. And if you sub, then sub. And if you share, please share. I'm Thrive. Bye.